Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one is entitled Planet X Objects or Destroyers with Low Gravitational Influence. Now the sun is no longer shining and has been replaced by a sun and sky simulation system which is not perfect and often malfunctions. It is this lack of perfection in the system that allows us to know that it is in operation. And you may look at the previous article, article 451, for more details on that. Now the objects that have caused the sun to go dark have been coming in from a system made up of dead star systems which surround the solar system on all sides. I have called this system the Planet X system of stellar cores. These objects have been coming into the solar system for thousands of years as comets. Comets have been mistaken for small benign objects that come through the solar system and exit, leaving nothing disturbed. But this is simply not so. They are huge, often larger than the sun, are surrounded by huge debris fields, and have a slowly building but usually hugely destructive effect on solar system objects. And here you see one of these objects in the sun's corona. So this is a Planet X system stellar core or a comet. It's the same thing. And it's clearly a spherical object. It's in the sun's corona. It is drawing the sun's corona to itself. The sun's corona can be seen attaching to it at several points. So these objects will draw the Earth's atmosphere in the same way when they approach the Earth. Notice that the object is dark. It does not emit light. The light is coming only from the sun's corona. Low energy objects cannot emit light and they have low gravitational influence. That does not mean they have low mass. They simply have a low ability to interact through the gravitational interaction. The way they are able to emit light is by drawing atmosphere from other objects, and then that atmosphere emits light. So this, the low gravitational, the low ability to interact gravitationally is as a result of the gravitational constant not actually being constant. And this gravitational constant gives the strength of the gravitational interaction. But it's not constant. It is dependent on the photon energy inside the particles of the object making it up. And you may look at article 210 entitled Stellar Core Gravity, Tidal, and G is not constant for more details. And this could be seen when one of these objects traverses the sun inside the sun's corona at a speed much lower than the sun's escape velocity. Now that cannot be caused by either the sun or the object having a low mass, but only because the gravitational interaction between the two is much lower than between the sun and solar system objects. Since the objects obviously absorb energy in the form of light, and you may look at article 183 for more details on that, and seem to be voracious absorbers of energy, this can only be because they are low energy objects, which then implies that they cannot emit light because of their low energy status. And you can see that particular object, which now called the 2007 stellar core, traversing the sun inside the sun's corona. So this object is a comet. It came in as a comet, but we can see it was not small. It was clearly spherical, and it was much larger than Jupiter. This one was smaller than the sun, but definitely larger than Jupiter. You can see it here entering the sun's corona. You can see the red part here, which is due to corona being between the detector and the back of the object that we are seeing. And you can see that part of the object here is not inside the corona yet. It's entering, and part of it is still outside and can even be seen against the background of corona that is behind. So there it's inside the corona. So it's traversing the sun inside the corona, is starting to exit there. Part of it is out there. Most of it is out now. The object obviously not emitting light in this wavelength. They don't emit any light at all. They can only emit light from the atmosphere, which they gain by absorbing it from the sun or the earth. And so this object, because it was so close to the sun, we could do a size comparison with the sun, turned out to be 2.2 times the size of Jupiter. It took 10 hours to traverse the sun, so that meant it did so at a speed of 39 kilometers per second. But that's way below the sun's escape velocity. So that meant that this object was not obeying gravitational law as we have understood so far. And that is because, as I mentioned, the gravitational constant, which gives the strength of the gravitational interaction, is dependent on energy, and it can be given, or it can be described in equation form with an equation like this, where G is equal to another constant of proportionality times the energy of the two objects. Energy of the first one times the energy of the two. So for example, if E1 is the energy of the sun, E2 would be the energy of the stellar core. Then if the stellar core, and we know it has very low energy, so E2 would be close to 0, and that means G would be close to 0 as well. So that means the strength of the interaction between the two would be very weak. Energy always flows from high energy objects to low energy objects. So the comets that have been coming in for thousands of years, all those sun-diving comets that are supposed to be destroyed when they get very close to the sun, are not being destroyed. They are remaining in the sun's corona and are absorbing energy from the sun. When they manage to move on in some orbit, they still have a lot of debris, leave a lot of debris behind. Over time, this debris has choked the sun until it could no longer emit light. And you may look at article 435 entitled Planet X Debris Filling the Solar System. Sun is now a dark star. The objects are always surrounded by a huge amount of debris. So when they reach the Earth, some of this debris enters the atmosphere and absorbs energy from Earth matter it makes contact with. This debris causes water vapor to condense into clouds around the dust, and the clouds to emit light, thus creating luminescent clouds. The stellar core at the center of the cloud of dust will absorb atmosphere from the Earth, and this atmosphere will also emit light as a result of the energy absorption process. This seems to be where the red light illumination that has been observed in various events where the sun and sky simulation system has malfunctioned due to large amounts of this dust entering the atmosphere at one time. And this seems to be one of those events because the sky looks red. In fact, the whole atmosphere is only being illuminated by red. And the authorities like to say that the color in the atmosphere is due to dust. But this all fires, but this is not the case. As you can see, this person can be seen very clearly. There is not a lot of dust between this person and the camera, but yet we can only see whatever he's wearing in tones of red. And even the grass, which is supposed to be green, is red. The leaves on the tree are all red. The branches of the tree are in tones of red. The darker ones are just darker red. This branch is red. These leaves are supposed to be green, but they're red. The trees in the background are red. These trees here are red. All the leaves are red. Even the dog is red. That's because there's only red to be reflected by objects. There's only red light coming into the atmosphere. You may look at article 448 for more details on this. And these are the apocalyptic skies over Jerusalem, and these clouds are luminescent clouds. They are actually emitting light, and you can see that because you see how thick this cloud is, and yet the bottom of it is emitting yellow light, and further up it's emitting red light, and in between it's emitting red light. This is only possible if the cloud itself is emitting light, and it's emitting light because the condensation that created this cloud was due to stellar core matter entering the atmosphere, and then the material, the Earth material, actually emits light because of the energy absorption process. And this is usually seen at sunrise and sunset, and I think that is most likely because the sun simulation system is able to mask it completely during the day and during the night, but not at sunset and sunrise when it's changing modes from daytime mode to nighttime mode. Now, the fact that comets are coming to the Earth in increasing numbers is obvious from the increasing incidence of the sky turning red, as well as the increasing amount of luminescent cloud observed at sunrise and sunset, which we see here. These objects are not benign. They cause earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, fissuring of the Earth's surface, and severe weather, and these events are likely to increase in severity over time. So in conclusion, comets are not small or benign. They are energy depleted and thus have low gravitational influence, but they are voracious absorbers of energy, and through this effect they have turned the sun into a dark star and are affecting the Earth in more and more severe ways. And those are the references. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you for watching.